Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. Thanks so much for being here today, and I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. 60andMe is a community of women over 60 who are really trying to make the most of their lives during challenging times. And we're living in a time of great uncertainty and ambiguity and fear, and there's some ways that we can develop some qualities that I think will help. Now, there's a lot of stereotypes, words that people use to describe older women. And, some of them may not be verbally expressed, but they're things like, invisible, irrelevant, old, aging, all those things that indicate certain behaviors. But I think, honestly, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, that women who are in their 60s and 70s and 80s have got an understanding of life experience that makes them more relevant than ever. We can be an example to people who are struggling, because young people, they're going through this for the first time too. And you can tell by some behaviors that they're just not understanding the control that you can have over your environment and how you can make things better. So I want to talk today, though, about how to develop one particular skill that I think is the key to everything, is resilience. Resilience, if you look at the definition, is the ability to bounce back. And I think that that's, a very simple definition of it, but it's really all about that. It's about going through life with eyes wide open, not trying to, challenge the difficulties, like bring it on, I can handle it, or, I'm strong, I'm okay. It's saying, yeah, this is my reality right now. I've got to shift my mindset. I can grumble, I can complain, I can be unhappy and sad, I can be angry, but that's not going to change, because, and we know this from the experiences that we have had through our lives. Maybe you've had a husband walk out on you or treat you badly, or you've had friends who have abandoned you, toxic relationships that have made you feel so small and insignificant. But even horrible tragedies, a loss, something that's happened in a fire in your home, or just things that have happened to us that have given us such experience with resilience. Now, Sharon Blumberg is one of our bloggers. She wrote this article on Operation Resilience, and she's got some really great ideas, I think, to actually build that resilience muscle. The global situation that we're facing now is everyone's. Everyone is facing this, and we can, I think, do a lot to show through our own resilience what is possible. I know I walk around the streets now and I wear a mask. Many don't, and I respect that if that's what your choice is, but I wear a mask all the time. And I look around though, and young people aren't wearing them. And I don't know why, because it has been, in my opinion, proven that it's helpful. But it's just that kind of, if you look around now, after we've been on this for 6 months or so, the older women are wearing the masks. Why? Because we're resilient and we want to live another 30 years. We're strong. Another thing that she suggests that we do, or one thing she suggests we do, is try to maintain our social connections. Now, this is really, really super important. Most people around the world have never experienced in their lifetime a pandemic like we're going through right now. Yes, there have been earlier in the early 1900s and even before, but it's not something that anybody around the world has ever. So I think we've got to now reach out intentionally. We can't get together. We can't do our normal book clubs or the normal gatherings that we would do. But I think we've now got to take a shift and be intentional in our desires. The other thing is to not despair. And I know this is hard. I despair sometimes, I must admit. I've had my moments, like we all have, where we sat down and had a good cry, because this is just so hard. And we're losing something. We're losing our jobs. We're losing our livelihood. We're losing hugs and kisses and just attention and friends, and even mental stimulation with the groups that we used to go connect with. But we can't despair. The secret, I think, is to have some long-term plans. For me, I've actually booked a cruise for October 21. Miles away, a year, right? It's not going to happen. Maybe, who knows what will happen by then. But just the planning it was really fun. And it gave me, and I also, of course, made sure my insurance covered COVID, and also that it could be canceled. And most travel agencies and groups now are just completely reevaluating. So it's this idea, I'm looking at my notes here because there's an idea of this thing called Kaizen, Kaizen, which is the Japanese belief that continuous incremental improvements can add up to a substantial change over time. So I'm not saying we have to change immediately everything. I'm just saying step by step, we want to make changes in our lives that adjust to this new mindset. Perhaps one thing is just doing one Zoom call a month, and then maybe one a week, and then maybe, just start your own Zoom group, just taking incremental positive steps forward. I think it really, really helps. It's Kaizen. I think it's great. I think the other thing that she talks about is just having a positive attitude about expansion and innovation in general. Look at the world and see what is happening. Innovation is not stopping. Creativity is not stopping. In fact, if you look at some of the really interesting things that are coming up around the virus and how people are dealing with it, yes, there's some kooky things like, cases for your masks, or certain little containers and things you can use, or things to be able to wear glasses, and yes, but the creative spirit that is in the human being just never ever ends. And we talk about this a lot on 16 Me. And by the way, I want to ask you, well, I just take a quick step to say, if you love these kinds of videos, and I'm going to talk to you more about the things that Sharon talks about, but if you really love our videos, there's over 1,800 on YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. Just press that subscribe button. I really need your help in doing that, because it strengthens the more people that follow us and are watching our videos, the more YouTube shares. So the more women we can bring into our world. So that it's not just for me, my numbers or anything like that. It really is a genuine request. And also the notification bell, you can press that bell, because that tells you when new videos are being released. It's really cool. Anyway, but the possibilities for innovation and growth are incredible. And I think that's one thing that's really hopeful. I was just reading today that one of the companies that's working on a vaccine is now going into a third phase. And it's like, this is happening. And as soon as we get a working vaccine and everyone's comfortable taking it and everything's been checked, it'll be a few months from now for sure. But then we can start moving again in our world. It's not going to be dark and cold and a dark winter forever. I think the thing to do, and Sharon points this out, is to find the things you can solve right now. Find the problems that you can deal with at this moment, and then do them. Everything else will have its time, have its place. But right now you can only deal with what's in front of you. And just give yourself a break. You don't have to solve everything right now. What does your community need? What are things you can do? What are your skills? You've trained on, most people have trained for something. You had a job that involved some knowledge, some understanding. What can you share? I think that's really a very powerful way to get passion and purpose back into your life. Okay, show up for your life. Just show up. Change is inevitable. And it's going to be, what I'm talking about today is probably going to be old news tomorrow, because I'm just coming from where I am right now. And you're in the same situation. You're just coming at it from where you are. Reimagine this new mindset for yourself. And say, where does that take you? If you're assuming that the mindset right now is that you're not going to see people face to face for a while, or maybe other than your family, maybe your grandchildren, if you're allowed to do that now, what else can you do? What creative things can you come up with that are going to fill that gap? FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, they're all there. Yes, they're not fun and know who likes them, but I quite enjoy Skype and I quite enjoy Zoom. But you may be new to it, but maybe that's the mindset shift that you have to make. It's not too late. Don't say things like, oh, I'm wasting all my elder years now with this virus. I'm having to stay home. What happened to my retirement? I was supposed to be traveling and cruising and reinventing myself. But you can do that still. You're never too old for dreams and planning and just looking to the future. So don't let me hear you say that. I'm too old. Don't say that. Because you're not. I'm 71. I'm going to be 72 in a few months, and I'm actually kind of excited. I'm just really grateful that I have this life, and I have you, and I have the ability to grow. That's what it's all about, I mean, half the things that were important to me 10 years ago aren't important anymore. I've got other priorities, and probably you do too. I'm reading, thinking, exploring, going inside, listening to myself, dealing with old ghosts, old darkness, places of darkness. We all have them. They're all there. Bring them into the light. So anyway, she's got, Sharon's, her last comment is actually one that we've talked about so many times, which is gratitude. And, I think having gratitude is such an important exercise. I even told my little grandson Max yesterday, when you go to sleep every night, be sure that you say 3 things in your mind, 3 things that you love. I love my Thomas the Tank Engine. I love my daddy. I love my mommy. I love my brother. Whatever, just 3 little things. And he said, okay, I'll do that, Baba. And if you can start doing that, it's really precious. And I think it's useful. So, how are you doing? What feelings of uncertainty and fear and doubt have emerged over the last few months for you? And how are you dealing with them? What's your resilience plan? How are you going to get resilient and strong and bounce back from this? Please leave your comments below. I really hope that you got some things from this and understood what I was trying to say in my own personal way. It's all for you. It's all for us as a community. Thank you so much for being here. Take good care, everybody. Have a super day. And let us know how you're building resilience in your life. Tell us the things you're doing. Have a really great day, everybody. Bye-bye for now.